usually, never, rarely, sometimes, often. If you have these words, or sometimes you may have the phrase which is in the present. What does this mean? It means if you have one of these keywords, the sentence has to be in the present simple. Be in the present simple, you have to look at the structure of the sentence. If the subject is he, she, it, you what? You add s to the verb and then plus the object. But if you have, for example, they, I, we, you, if we look at the verb has no s, no ed, no ing. It means the basic form of the subject. If we have here like an example, you may have here, for example, with he, name of a person, like for example, Mazen, Abdulaziz, Abdullah, Ahmed, anything. But if you look here at she, you may have she as pronoun, or you might have the noun, such as, for example, Sheikha, Maryam, Alia, Reem. With it, you have, for example, name of non-living items, or we call them sometimes, you might have name of an animal, like the cat, for example, the horse, the camel, or sometimes the school, the hospital, the organization. This we consider it as it. So this is all about present simple. I hope it's clear now.
أيضا أتمنى هود متابعتنا وأيضا تعرفتي على الإجابة. ناخذ اتصال. السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام.
يا مرحبا وسهلا، من معنا؟
لولوى الحارثي.
لولوى، من وين يا لولوى؟
من مسقط.
من مسقط. تفضلي لولوى.
Teacher, I have a question about the writing. How many writings will be tomorrow there?
In which exam, A or B?
A.
A.
What about the writing?
Yeah, how many writing? You didn't watch the last program?
Okay.
ما شفت الحلقة الماضية؟
No, I didn't watch.
Okay, for English A, you are going to have two writings. The first writing is the opinion writing. You will be asked to write your opinion and give reasons about something, whether you agree or you disagree. The second one will be the story. You are going to have 6 pictures with a box of keywords, and you are going to write a story about these pictures. Write it in a form of a story, not sentence by sentence, as one whole story or one or 2 paragraphs together. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
شكرا لك يا لولوى. فقط أيضا أذكر بالنسبة للي حاب يتابع الحلقة الماضية موجودة على اليوتيوب. منزلين اللينك الرابط على المنتدى التربوي حتى في منتدى اللغة الإنجليزية، ومنزلينه على صفحتنا في الفيسبوك. منزلين رابط الحلقة اللي هي في اليوتيوب، موجودة على اليوتيوب. ناخذ أيضا سؤال بالإيميل من سيف الرواحي. I am safe. I just want to ask about the best way to start the introduction.
For which question?
He didn't say. He said the introduction. I don't know which.
Opinion, maybe.
Okay, as for the opinion, now, for as she said, for grade 12A, they are going to have 2 writing question, picture, story, and opinion, and both of them are having 10 marks. As for the grade 12B, they are going to have 3 questions. They are going to have describing a picture, one picture, and then they are going to have an opinion. And the third question is going to have a picture story, where they are going to have 6 stories with words or verbs. Okay, they are going to use these verbs and words to write the story. Now, as for the introduction, it is found in the opinion writing. And as for the opinion writing, first of all, the students should understand should know what are the tenses they are going to use in order to write an opinion. Now, as for the opinion, they are going to use, most of the sentences are going to have the present form tenses. And when I say tenses, that means I mean the present simple tense plus present. They can use also the present continuous tense or even present perfect. But most of the sentences are going to be in the present simple. Also, students may use the models if they want to use should or can or even will to describe a sentence in the future. Now, as for the introduction, students are going to state his opinion first. That means, do or does he agree or not agree to the question. Now, and for most of the introduction, students, for example, they can say personally, I think that, and then he's going to state his opinion, whether he is agree or not. For example, if the topic is talking about tourism, and this is one of the topics that came in the one of the previous exams, tourism is good for Oman. So, if the students wants to express his opinion in this topic, so he's going to say personally, I think that if he agrees to the point, so he's going to say personally, I think that tourism is good for Oman. If not, so he's going to say personally, I think tourism is not, make the sentence into negative form, is not good for Oman. And then after this sentence, students also is going to mention the reasons. That means 2 sentences describing the reasons, okay, in general. And then in the main body, he's going to elaborate these examples in the main body in the 2nd and 3rd or 4th paragraph. So this is just how to write the introduction. The first sentence in the introduction is going to just reflect the student's opinion on the topic being asked.
أتمنى أيضا أن تكون الإجابة واصلة. على فكرة أنا متابع التعليقات وأيضا الردود على صفحة الفيسبوك. أنا أتمنى أن الأسئلة نضعها عن طريق البريد الإلكتروني. الروابط مال الحلقة السابقة موجودة أيضا هنا وأيضا موجودة في المنتدى التربوي. ناخذ اتصال. السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام.
يا مرحبا وسهلا، من معنا؟
معك عبد الله الكلباني.
حياك يا عبد الله، من وين؟
عبد الله من عبري.
والنعم.
English B.
English B. تفضل يا عبد الله.
Teacher Said, I want to ask you, can we name the character or the people in the picture and write it one or not to have a clear paragraph?
For writing number 1?
Yes, describe this picture.
Yeah, describing a picture. So it is only, you are going to be asked to write a short paragraph describing the picture, and it is only 20 to 30 words. That means maximum you can write 5 sentences or 6 sentences. Okay, it is as a form of 1 paragraph only. And the tenses is being used here to describing a picture is present tense, present simple, and then the present continuous when you are going to describe the action you can see in the picture. Okay, so it is only as 1 paragraph.
I know, teacher.
Okay.
But my question, can I name the people in the picture or not?
Okay, that's me. Can you name now? There is no need to name the people in the picture. It is just you can use. For example, in the first sentence, you can say, for example, in this picture, I can see a man, and then later you are going to use pronoun. But when you describing the picture story, which is writing number 3, in this case you can name the people in the pictures. But for describing one picture, there is no need to name the people. Okay?
Okay, teacher.
Okay.
شكرا لك يا عبد الله. ناخذ اتصال آخر. السلام عليكم. أيوة السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام. أيوة ألو.
يا هلا، من معانا؟
سلوى العامري.
من وين يا سلوى؟
من الداخلية.
حياك، تفضلي يا سلوى، تفضلي.
Excuse me.
English A or
سلوى A or B؟
What?
A or B؟
A.
A. تفضلي.
Excuse me, I want some rules about how write story and essay. Let's say the first question and second question. How divide markets about supergrants?
Did you catch it?
You want to know how to write an essay?
Yes. Some rules about how write story and essay.
Okay. Let's look here. First of all, I will talk about the story, okay?
Okay.
Okay, about the story, you know that you are telling a story. So if there is no cues in the pictures that tell you, for example, about the time of the story, like sometimes in the pictures you can have a word like last week, last year, and so on. If you don't have this, start your story having the word one day. Okay? So you may use one of these two phrases. The first phrase is one day. The other phrase you can use, which is once upon a time. Okay? Salwa, by this you can start the story. Whether you use this or the first one, or whether you use the second one. Then after the comma, start writing the story. See, before this, look at the table you have, the table of words or the table of information, because you have a box. Right, Salwa? In the box you have some words. Look at these words. Try to match them to the pictures that you have. For example, you might have a noun, you might have adjective or verb, and so on. Try to match them. Try to look at the story and the pictures and try to understand it first of all. Try to understand it in your mind. See what happened first, what happened next, what happened after that, what is the theme of the story. Try to understand it. After that, start writing. Start writing using the word one day. Then, as Mr. Saeed has just pointed out, you can use names. You can make or, for example, call names for the characters that you have in the pictures. Like, for example, if you have a boy, you can, for example, write a name for that boy. Like, for example, Ahmed. There was one day, Ahmed, then you start the story. Try to write it picture by picture, okay? For example, you describe the first picture, what happened. After that, you put full stop. Then you write, for example, you can use some words like then, after that. You know this, Salwa?
Okay.
Okay, after that, next. So that the person who mark your paper makes sure that you understand now that there is, for example, actions happening in the story, and there is an order for these actions. And you order them according to the order of the pictures, the set of pictures you have. Another thing with the story, make sure that you write it in the past simple verbs. You know past verbs? The past verb, they end in ed if they are regular, but if they are not regular, you write the form of the verb. Okay, Salwa?
Okay.
So, with the story, to summarize, with the story, use past simple verbs. Use an introductory phrase, which is one day or once upon a time. You can use some conjunction words like this. Then, after that, next, and you order the story. Be careful with the punctuation, when to put the full stop, when to put, for example, question mark, when to put the comma, and also be careful with capital letters and these things. because if you write your story in a way the language is accurate, the punctuation is accurate, and also the verb and the grammar is accurate, it means that you will get the full mark in the story. Okay, Salwa, is it clear?
Okay.
With the essay, we explained last episode the essay. We said that with the essay, you start your essay with introduction,
Yes.
okay, and then you have body, and finally you have conclusion.
Yes.
In the introduction, try to make your point of view clear. Do you agree or you don't agree? Mention this in the introduction, okay?
Okay.
So you start, for example, if the topic is about mobile phone, you can write, mobile phones are very important nowadays, full stop. I think that a student should be allowed to use mobile phone, for example, or teenagers should be allowed to use mobile phone when they are 17 or 18 years old because of, then write 2 reasons. Why do you think it is important in the introduction? After that, in the body, take each point from here in one paragraph and each point from here in another paragraph. And finally, the conclusion, you summarize the whole thing you have already mentioned in your essay. The verb you use is a present simple because you are telling your opinion, unless you want to talk about something in the future like a result, or you want to compare 2 things between past and present and so on. Is it clear?
Okay. But in body, how much the paragraph right?
If you count them for example, for the essay, you might have for the introduction 1 paragraph, for the body from 2 to 3 paragraphs, okay, and for the conclusion 1 paragraph. So if you count them 1, and here if you have 2, there will be 3, and here 4. But if you write for the body 3, you may have 5 paragraphs. Okay?
Okay.
شكرا لك يا سلوى. أيوة سلوى.
Okay. What?
عندك سؤال آخر؟ بس عشان الوقت يعني ها؟
سؤال ثاني بس بالسريع.
تفضلي.
How to advise to mark about two paragraphs?
What? 2 paragraphs.
Say it again, please.
How advise the market about 2 paragraphs? توزيع الدرجات للباراجراف.
بالنسبة للدرجات he asked.
What about it?
How many marks?
10.
Yes. Writing 1, it has 10 marks. Writing 2, it has 10 marks. So both of them 20 marks for writing.
Okay.
شكرا لك يا سلوى، شكرا، موفقة إن شاء الله. ناخذ أيضا سؤال عن طريق الإيميل من هالة الرحبي. هالة يعني بعثت بها السؤال أكثر من مرة، وأيضا هي متفائلة جدا بالنسبة لامتحان الغد. هكذا أنتم دائما متفائلين، نتمنى فعلا أن يعني يكون تفاؤلكم هكذا في محله، وهو دائما هكذا، وباكر تقدم امتحان رائع. هالة تقول أريد شرح قاعدة الانفينيتيفز and الجرانتس.
Okay. Let's go to the book. We have it here in page 69 in the course book. Okay, as here it is mentioned in the book, infinitives and gerund can follow verbs, nouns, adjectives, as we have in the text. And here we have examples of gerunds and also of infinitive. If we look at the infinitive, the most important thing is that you have to know that you use to plus the basic form of the verb. Okay, for example, Nasira went to the bookshop. Then here we have to buy a whiteboard marker. Okay, so if we look here, we have the infinitive here. which is having to. After it, we have the verb. After to, the verb comes in the infinitive, means the verb comes without no S, no ED, no ing is attached to the verb. So you have to be careful here. And the infinitives comes in the sentence to tell you a reason of something, why people do these things. To, it means this here, to plus the verb, they come in the sentence to give us the meaning of because. Okay? Instead of using the word because, we might use the infinitive, which is to plus the verb. The student, the most important thing that the student should know is that after to, the verb that comes after to should come without anything. It has to come in the basic form of the verbs. Okay? But if we look here at the gerund, as we have here in the book, one of the examples of gerund is that using the ing after the verb. Like, for example, playing football makes you fit. So if we look here, we can look at the word here, which is this. This is this. We call it in English, we call it gerund. What does gerund mean? Gerund is a verb, or sometimes it might be like adding ing with the verb. And here, if we look at this, we call it gerund. It means this here, the word playing here is not a verb. It comes as a type of nouns in English, which is playing. The most important thing is in this grammar rule is that the student know that after to, the verb comes in the basic form. That's it. And there are a lot of things. If they have to look at the workbook, by the end of the workbook, they can see that there are some words that comes after it. We have, for example, gerund. Then there are some words that after it we can have, for example, infinitive, like in page 114 and 115 in the workbook. Students, if they look at these words, they can see that there are some verbs. After these verbs, we use infinitive only. Students have to memorize these verbs, such as we have here agree, attempt, decide, expect, hesitate, hope, learn, neglect, plan, and so on. And there are some verbs after them we have only gerund, and the student, they have to know them. If the camera can take it, this is the page. I don't know if they can take it now.
I think it is not possible now.
Okay, so it is in page 114 and 115 in the workbook. That's it.
Okay, at the end, are there any advice you want to say to the students in these few hours before the exams? What they have to do now before the exams? We are only less than 12 hours.
Just during the exam, they should be relaxed, okay? And inshallah, everything will be okay. And don't just have the idea that, as we mentioned earlier, that listening is difficult. No, listening is very, very easy if you have the desire to answer these questions.
Yeah, thank you. What about your Fatma?
Okay, I want to make them feel, I want them to feel relaxed before the exam. And try to feel happy. Inshallah, English exam is going to be very easy. This year, the Ministry of Education is very generous with the English exams, as we saw with the grade 11, especially the elective. It was very easy, and also grade 11 B was very easy, and a lot of students in grade 11 got 100. And this I can guarantee, because from our results in our school, students got 100, 99, 96. So inshallah, grade 12 will have the same. Inshallah, they have to focus, and all of them will get good marks.
إن شاء الله. فاصل، نعود ونختم هذه الحلقة. كونوا معنا أيها الأحبة. الختام الشكر الجزيل للأستاذ سعيد بن أحمد المياسي معلم لغة إنجليزية. شكرا لك أستاذ سعيد. وأيضا الأستاذة فاطمة بنت عبد الله البريكية معلمة لغة إنجليزية. شكرا لك أستاذة فاطمة. أيها الأحبة، غدا سنتوقف، لن تكون هناك حلقة يوم الغد. إن شاء الله يوم الاثنين ستكون الحلقة مخصصة لمادة الأحياء، ويوم الثلاثاء هذا وطني، والحلقة الأخيرة يوم الأربعاء ستكون حلقة عامة. إن شاء الله نلتقيكم بإذن الله على خير، وأتمنى لكم أداء امتحان موفق غدا في مادة اللغة الإنجليزية. تقبلوا تحياتي خلفان العاصمي وتحيات فريق العمل وتحيات مخرج البرنامج بدر العميري. إلى اللقاء.